Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here for wearechange.org, and you may have seen me yesterday for almost an hour go over the latest JFK document dump and the disappointing reality that, again, we're going to wait another 3 years to be disappointed again. Okay, that's unfortunately where we seem to be with this, okay? So I've missed a lot of other news, although I really encourage people to check that out because I show you who actually killed Kennedy, who was involved, and the documents that need to be released, and the names that we do know. So, again, go check that out, please. But while all this is happening, we have North and South Korea coming together like never before. This is historic stuff, and this is stuff that I kind of alluded to with Luke on the Sunday program when it was announced that they were going to give up their nuclear capabilities flat out. Now, again, I'm still skeptical, but one of the things that we discussed, and you know, Trump is over there right now. He's meeting with the South Korean leader, and apparently he's setting up a meeting right now with Kim Jong-un. This is historic stuff. And people, I think people need to realize it. It really is. And this isn't, to me, I see no negatives in nations talking to one another, not using bombs and violence and fear-based propaganda to control other populaces. So, again, this is really great stuff. We're going to see where it goes. I'm still, you know, very skeptical until we know where it ends up. But the other thing about this is that Trump really should, and this is again what we talked about, get at least a Nobel Peace Prize nomination for this. Now, I'm not happy about Syria at all. In fact, if you watched, if you watch this, you know that I'm very critical of Trump all the time, especially when he's doing bad things. And bringing us to the brink of World War III seemed like a bad thing. Despite the fact that it seems like, you know, after all the posturing and chest puffing up, there was some kind of collusion agreement between Russia, the United States, where these missiles could be fired. Very shady behind-the-scenes stuff. But if that shady behind-the-scenes stuff stopped a larger global conflict, okay. I mean, that's a reality. You've got to deal with those realities. So, not on the Trump train. But it seems that he is going to be nominated for this. GOP lawmaker planning to nominate Trump for Nobel Peace Prize. And I got to tell you, no offense, but when you set the bar so low that you give the President of the United States, a.k.a. Barack Obama, the Nobel Peace Prize for nothing, for becoming president, for continuing a policy of drones, of troops on the ground in places like Afghanistan, in Iraq, keeping Guantanamo Bay open, bringing us into the conflict of Syria eventually. I think he got the Nobel Peace Prize before he did that covertly with the CIA. Yeah, that's the truth. Okay? And when you set the bar that low, and I mean it's low there, okay? Trump getting North and South Korea to end their disputes, to have North Korea end their nuclear program is huge. It's huge. It's huge. So, I will give credit where credit is due. This is a good move. This is a great move. This is the kind of thing that's going to win back his base. But that's, you know, neither here nor there, because at We Are Change, there is no base. We're going to be critical of everybody, no matter how much we support some of their ideas, because we believe in dissent, discourse, discussion, so that we don't just have one point of view coming across. Now, with that said, we had this happen as well. We had the GOP House panel documents come out, and they find no collusion between Trump and the Kremlin. No kidding. Now, of course, people out there are saying, oh, this is a partisan report. You wait, Mueller's going to get him. Here comes Mueller. like Mueller's a good guy. Like Mueller is some kind of hero for the people. No, he was a guy that propagated weapons of mass destruction to go into Iraq. He was a guy that covered up 9/11. Many of the documents still classified to this day. He's not a good person. And do I think that there's some partisan politics here at play? Possibly. But do I think that there was any collusion between the Russian government and the Trump administration to get him elected? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think they did everything within their legal limits. Again, they tried to make Cambridge Analytica a big deal. That's almost gone by the wayside, other than people going, Facebook, my privacy, Facebook. Microcosm. It's nothing. It's nothing. In fact, I should have brought up the story here that I think it's posted either on the We Are Change Facebook, which we hope you go to, or the We Are Change Twitter, where Trump is now demanding 5 years of visa applicants' social media history. So if you think that the social media history of other people in other countries coming here is any different than your social media history and that you're not being cataloged, you would be incorrect. Okay? Everything you do in the digital ether has been and will continue to be tracked, traced, and databased. But that doesn't mean Russian collusion. And with that, Trump says, listen, man, probe's got to end. It's got to go. We're done, right? I mean, they found no evidence of collusion. You'd think it'd be over, but we know that, of course, they went to Cohen's office. They took all of those documents. They took a bunch of cell phones, burner phones, who he was talking to, God knows. I mean, these aren't good people. These are people that'll stab you in the back, cut your throat, work with the mafia and worse. But, you know, as far as this country goes, you know, at least they're not into child trafficking. Weird. Or molestation, which we've seen in the past in upper echelons of government, now proven. I'm looking at you, Heath. I'm looking at you, UK. And, you know, we're going to get into the UK in a moment, but, you know, just one more weasel over here. John Brennan, as deep state as it gets. You stay tuned. You stay tuned on that Robert Mueller investigation again, because it has been, and it always will be, a fishing expedition. They just want Trump in there in an interview so bad so that they can get him to slip up after hours and hours and hours and hours of questioning and have him be dishonest about just one thing. And I'm not saying that Trump is an honest guy. That's what people don't understand. It's like, I know I started this out talking about him getting the Nobel Peace Prize, but look who's gotten it in the past. And again, look at the achievement. It's a huge achievement to get North and South Korea back together, to get North Korea to get rid of their nuclear program. You know, again, this is big news. So, you know, people like Brennan that are old school, and by the way, it's shocking to me, especially bringing Bolton in, who I thought for sure was going to want to go into North Korea militarily. So, again, hats off to Trump. You know, I'm sure that me and Luke will be talking about this on the Sunday show tomorrow. But there's a lot to talk about, and when we're talking royalty, guys, I want to talk about this right here because it needs to end, and I love this. I absolutely love it. A referendum on abolishing monarchy must be held when Queen dies. Republicans demand. The Republican movement in Britain has announced it will campaign to make the case for holding a referendum on the future of the British monarchy after the Queen's death. Well, I don't know why you're waiting for the Queen to die. Royalty is a archaic, insane, manipulative, unfair rule by bloodline, and it should have never existed in the first place. It certainly has no business existing in 2018 in any way, shape, or form. We're not just talking about this monarchy. We're talking about princes in Saudi Arabia and beyond. Believe me, there's a lot of royalty out there in the African nations, in the European nations. It's done. We don't like it. I don't like it. It's done. Again, why does your kid just get to rule over other people? And the idea that they're just a facade, my ass, they're just a facade. Talk about welfare queens. They basically just take from the populace and are supported by them because they have a history of obscenity and tyranny. It's got to go. It's got to go. I don't even think a referendum's necessary. There's no reason to wait for the queen to die. They should abolish it tomorrow. It should become a museum. And the royal family should have to move out and go get jobs. Go buy their properties and be regular people. And I'm done hearing about who the prince is going to marry and their fourth baby. I don't care. I've never cared. Any thinking, sane person couldn't give a rat's ass about the royal family, except to have it abolished. And that's the truth. Now, usually I like to end on an upbeat note, and this story is in no way upbeat or a good story, but I'm pretty surprised, and believe me, they could have gone further, that CNN did this story. CNN recently did a video report on the NXIVM cult, which is out of Clifton Park, which is, again, is right in my neck of the woods. They got a branch in Brooklyn. They didn't cover things like Keith Raniere, allegedly being with a 12-year-old girl. They did not cover the fact that they are also encompassed with this children's school that just shut down as well, which is also very suspicious. They didn't cover the fact that he's connected to the Bronfman family. What did they cover? Well, they covered enough where I'm pretty surprised it made it onto television, and we're going to play it for you right now.
An actress best known for her role in the TV show Smallville has been indicted for allegedly recruiting women into a sex cult.
Yeah, we're talking about Allison Mack. She played Clark Kent's friend Chloe. In real life, though, she's accused of helping an alleged sex cult called NXIVM and forcing at least 2 women to have sex with the group's leaders. Now, we have more from our affiliate WPIX, but I don't want to be caught off guard here. There are some disturbing details in this that may not be
suitable
proper.
For kids.
Thank you for.
Well, let's just stop it right there. Since when is the news for kids? Okay, I understand that young people are supposed to get their news, and I understand that you're a 24-hour news network, and I'm not sure when this aired on television. But unfortunately, the facts are even more disturbing than what you're going to hear from CNN. But again, props to CNN for finally doing this story. Haven't seen this story over on MSNBC.
Children.
Clark, I really missed you.
She played Clark Kent's best friend on Smallville. Chloe Sullivan, the brainy editor of the school newspaper. A hero on the show, she's now in a heap of trouble in real life. She was arraigned in federal court on charges of sex trafficking and forced labor, a far cry from the interview she gave Pix 11 in 2010.
To honor my character and honor what my character's done for women in sort of iconic positions.
Prosecutors say Mack is one of the top members of an alleged sex cult called NXIVM and was involved in recruiting women and helping to turn them into sex slaves for the founder of the group, Keith Raniere, himself recently arrested, and is Mack's co-defendant in the case. On the group's website, Raniere posted a statement saying there is, quote, no merit to the allegations.
Let's stop it there just for a second. No merit to the allegations. Now, again, I'm going to give perhaps maybe this administration credit. They went down to Mexico and got this guy. And that's where Allison Mack was staying. And there was news that Allison Mack was going to form a pact with these other women and go to jail for Keith and promise not to say anything. Again, how far did that go? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. But it looks like she's cutting a deal at this point. Now, you're going to find out that this actress, I believe she was on Dallas. They're going to go over it, or I'm sorry, Dynasty. Her daughter is currently still involved in this sex cult. Now, there's a lot of videos out there. People magazine has now a TV show. They've done a pretty good job on their stories, and there is a lot of background in this. So let's continue.
One of the alleged victims in this cult is the daughter of actress Catherine Oxenberg, best known for her role as Amanda Carrington on Dynasty. Stanley Zaroff, a friend of the Oxenberg family, spoke outside court and talked about the ordeal they've been going through.
And she's deeply upset. Her family's torn apart. She loves her daughter. She wants her daughter to come home.
The cult is based in upstate New York, but authorities say it also has a presence in Brooklyn. Prosecutors allege NXIVM operates under the guise of a secret self-help organization that empowers women. But instead, they were turned into sex slaves for Rainier, and his initials were branded onto their bodies. Zaroff has choice words for Mac.
I want to see her put away. She's dangerous. She's sick. She's evil. She's dark. And she's done harm to many people. Imagine having your initials burned into a woman's body. That's happened.
And there you have it. No comment from Allison Mack. And you know, you gotta love what that guy said. You know, behind the facade, the smile, the pretty face, the fact that she's an actress, and unfortunately this is a society which worships that culture. We worship Hollywood. We love the celebritard culture. But like this man said, she's ruined lives. She's having people branded. Is this getting into people's heads? It gets a lot worse. We're talking Collateral. We're talking, you know, kind of a mix of Tony Robbins self-help with Scientology mixed in kind of this weird sex cult. And I'm sorry, I just can't get behind things like this. You know, people are free to do what they want, but when it gets into trafficking and allegedly Keith Rainier having sex with a 12-year-old girl, well, I say there's big problems there. Folks, I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you see the logo right here above me, that is Dash Digital Cash. I think it's hovering around the $500 mark right now. Cryptocurrency that has done great things in sponsoring this group, this broadcast. Of course, Luke Radowski as well, and making We Are Change more and more powerful day by day. Please follow me on Twitter. Share this link, subscribe to the backup channel. If you're not watching this on the YouTube backup channel, get over there, subscribe, check us out on DTube. And remember, folks, be the change you'd like to see in the world.